Hi, everyone. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Hey, English learners. Welcome to Speak English with Anna and Ben.
Your comfy place to learn easy English and think about the real world at the same time. Okay, before anything else, I want to ask you something real. This morning, when you woke up, before you even got out of bed, did you reach for your phone? Yeah, me too. Every single morning, my hand just moves by itself. But this morning, the first thing I saw was a war headline. Somewhere in the world, people were dying. Families were losing everything. Again. And I put the phone face down. And I just sat there in the quiet, not knowing what to feel. Because what do you even say about something like that? What do ordinary people like us, do with that kind of news?
I've had that morning. A lot of us have. You open the news and the world feels too heavy, too broken, too loud. Somewhere in the world right now, a mother is trying to make breakfast while the city shakes around her. A father is standing in the street where his house used to be. A child is asking a question that no parent should ever have to answer. Are we going to be okay? And you sit with your coffee, safe, far away, and think, can this world ever find peace? I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most important, most painful, most human questions in the world: war, peace, and what it all really means for ordinary people. Not for leaders, not for politicians, for the everyday human being just trying to live a normal life.
This is a B1 to B2 level episode, intermediate English. We speak clearly, explain every important word, and we will never leave you behind. If something feels fast, just pause, go back, listen again. Your brain understands more every single time you listen. That is how language learning works. Stay with us. Okay, but we cannot be serious for 30 full minutes. That is basically illegal. Then, quick question before we start the heavy stuff. When the world feels too loud and your brain feels full, what is one tiny thing that gives you peace? Not a vacation, not a big plan. Something small, something real, something you can do today.
Okay, honestly, I make tea. Not because I need tea, but the whole process, boiling the water, waiting, holding the warm cup, it slows my brain down by force. 5 minutes, no phone, no news, no headlines, no opinions, just me and a warm cup. I call it my micro peace, a tiny pocket of quiet inside a very noisy world.
Micro peace. I love that. That is actually beautiful. For me, it's writing one sentence in my journal, just one, not a big reflection, just one honest sentence about how I feel right now. It takes 60 seconds, but it empties something inside my head. So before we go deeper today, pause right now and ask yourself, what is my micro peace? What tiny thing resets you when the world gets too loud? You cannot care about world peace if you're always burning inside. You have to protect your own quiet first.
Today, you will learn 3 things. 1. How to talk about war and peace in real, natural English. 2. True B2 vocabulary. Words like oppression, radicalize, reconciliation, intolerance, words serious speakers use. 3. How to say what you actually feel about the world, in English, clearly, confidently, so that the whole world can hear you.
If this is the kind of English conversation you have been looking for, subscribe right now. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, new episode, new English, new ideas. And in the comments today, just one word. How do you feel about the world right now? Hopeful, tired, Angry, heartbroken, confused. One word. We read every single one. Always. Say these phrases out loud, wherever you are right now. No judgment, just try. Repeat after me. The situation is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. So painful it almost feels physical, like something inside you actually cracks. The situation is heartbreaking. Say it one more time. Let it sit.
Next one. Repeat. I can't wrap my head around it. Wrap your head around something, a very common American expression. It means, I cannot fully understand something shocking or too complicated. I can't wrap my head around how many ordinary families lose everything in a war. Real sentence, real feeling. Use it.
Last practice phrase. Repeat. At the end of the day, we're all just people. At the end of the day means when you remove everything else and get to what truly matters. Beautiful phrase, simple truth. You will use this many times in your life.
Good. If you said those out loud, seriously, well done. Most people skip the practice part. You didn't. That matters. Okay, now the real question. When there is a war somewhere in the world, who actually suffers the most? Not the leaders, not the politicians sitting in safe buildings making decisions, not the people on television giving speeches. Ordinary people, families, children, teachers, farmers, shop owners, grandparents, the people who never chose the war, who never started it, who just woke up one day inside it.
Think about what war actually takes from ordinary people. It takes their home, not just a building, but 40 years of memories, photographs on the wall, a child's drawings, a grandmother's kitchen, gone in one night. It takes their routine, the coffee in the morning, the walk to work, the school run, the weekend market, all the small, ordinary things that make a life. A life. It takes their sense of safety, that feeling most of us have without even knowing we have it, that today will probably be okay. Ordinary people in a war zone wake up every day without that feeling. That is a loss we almost cannot imagine from the outside.
And here is something important to understand. Most ordinary people on every side of every conflict want the same thing. They want to be safe. They want to raise their children. They want one boring, normal, beautiful day without fear. The tragedy of war is that it takes people who want the same things and puts them against each other. So if most people want peace, why does hate keep growing? How does conflict actually start?
It almost always starts the same way, very quietly, very slowly. It starts with prejudice, judging a person before you really know them, just from their name, their appearance, where they come from. You hear one story and decide all people like that are dangerous. If no one questions that feeling, it slowly grows into intolerance. You stop just disagreeing, you start believing those people should not live the way they do. And when intolerance spreads, through media, through speeches, through jokes that aren't really jokes, it becomes hostility, open aggression, real anger directed at real people. And once people stop seeing each other as fully human, once someone becomes the enemy instead of a person with a family and a name, the door to oppression opens. Unfair treatment, no voice, no rights, constant fear. That is how ordinary life becomes unbearable, step by step.
But, and this is the important part, if hate can grow step by step, then peace can also grow step by step. Every war in history ended. Every single one. The worst conflicts in human history, they all ended. Not perfectly, not without permanent scars, but they ended. And they all ended the same way, with people sitting across from each other, looking at each other as human beings and deciding, enough.
Every war in history ended with people sitting across a table from each other. The question is always the same. How many ordinary people have to lose everything before we get to that table? That question is not political. It's human. It's what millions of people all over the world feel right now when they open the news. Just make it stop.
Be honest. Do you scroll past it? Do you watch everything? Do you share posts? Do you close the app and feel guilty for closing it? Do you argue with strangers in the comments at midnight? I've done all of those, sometimes in the same 10 minutes, sometimes in that exact order.
Most people, when they see conflict in the world, feel three things at once: sadness, anger, and helplessness. The sadness and the anger, those are healthy. Those mean you care. Those mean you still see other people as human. But the helplessness, that is the dangerous one, because helplessness makes people give up. And when good people give up, the people who fuel conflict win by default.
So, what do the people who don't give up do? What do ordinary people from every corner of the world do when they refuse to look away? First, they connect. They find other people who feel the same way, online, in their community, in their family, in a comment section on a podcast. There is something powerful about saying out loud or in writing, "I see this, I feel this, I am not okay with this," even to a stranger, even in a language that is not your first language. It breaks the silence, and silence is what conflict needs to survive.
Second, they speak up in their own language, but more and more in English. And I want you to understand something real about this. When you can speak about war, peace, justice in English clearly and calmly, people on the other side of the world listen to you differently. English gives your voice a global reach. Your pain, your hope, your perspective, it travels further in English than in almost any other language. That is a real reason to learn English, not just for a job or a visa. Your voice deserves to be heard by the whole world.
Third, they keep the human in the headline. This is what we call the human lens. Instead of seeing the conflict as one group against another, as a political argument, a historical debate, a social media fight, you look through the human lens and you see the individual people inside the story. An old woman in a war zone, still watering her plants every morning because those plants are the last normal thing she has. A little boy who carries his favorite toy everywhere because the toy makes him feel safe when nothing else does. A teacher who keeps running her class in the basement of a damaged building because she believes education is the one thing no bomb can take. A young man writing letters to his family every day just to prove he is still alive, still here. These are not numbers. These are not statistics. These are humans with names, with routines, with people they love.
When you practice English through stories like these, real, heavy, deeply human stories, something changes in you as a learner. You don't just learn vocabulary, you learn to feel in another language. And that, no cap, is when English truly becomes yours. Okay, let's practice 3 powerful phrases. Phrases you can actually use in a conversation, in a comment, or a message to a friend.
Repeat after me. It breaks my heart to see innocent people suffer. Break my heart. Deep, almost physical sadness, like something inside you cracks. It breaks my heart to see innocent people suffer. Feel it when you say it.
Never chose, did not decide, did not want, had no control. This sentence is important because it separates ordinary people from the decisions of power. The people who suffer never chose the war. Remember that. Say it again.
Last one. Repeat. No child anywhere deserves to grow up afraid. Deserves, has a right to something. Anywhere, in every place on earth, in every conflict, on every side. No child, anywhere. Say it one more time if you need to.
I want to ask you something different now. When you close your eyes and imagine peace, not a political agreement, not a news headline, just your own personal, ordinary, quiet peace, what does it look like?
For me, peace looks like a morning with no bad news. I pick up my phone and there are no wars, no disasters, no political anger, just quiet. My coffee, birds outside, my cat judging me from the chair. I know, that sounds so simple it is almost embarrassing to say. But when you've been waking up to difficult news every single morning for months, simple starts to sound like the most beautiful word in any language.
That is a completely real answer. And it brings us to technique 2, the peace conversation. Here's how it works. Just once a day, instead of analyzing a conflict, instead of arguing about who is right and who is wrong, you have a conversation about what peace would actually feel like with a friend, with your family, with yourself. Not politics, not strategy, just imagination. What would peace feel like in my neighborhood, in my city, in my own home?
I know this sounds small, like how does imagining peace change anything real? But here's the truth behind it. When you consume conflict every single day, news, arguments, war, tragedy, repeat, your brain slowly starts to believe that conflict is the normal state of the world. And when you believe conflict is normal, you stop working towards something better. You think, this is just how humans are. They have always fought, they always will. But when you practice imagining peace, even 5 minutes a day, your brain starts to believe that peace is actually possible. And people who believe peace is possible, they vote for it. They teach it to their children. They speak about it in their language and in English. That's not being naive. That's how every peaceful change in history actually started, with people who refused to accept that things could not be different.
Now, talking about war and peace sometimes means having difficult conversations with people who strongly disagree with you, who are angry, who are very certain they are right. Here are 3 English phrases that help you hold your position without fighting, without shutting down, without losing yourself or your dignity. Learn them, practice them. They are genuinely useful in the real world.
Repeat. I hear you, and I see it differently. First, it says, I actually listened to you. I respected you enough to hear you. Second, it says, I disagree. Calmly, clearly, without drama or attack. No raised voice, no aggression, just, I hear you, and I see it differently.
Repeat. I'm not going to argue, but I'm not going to stay silent either. This is one of the most mature sentences in the English language. I choose not to fight, but I also choose not to disappear. My voice exists. I will use it, calmly, with dignity.
Last one. Repeat. We can disagree and still respect each other. In the state of the world right now, I think this might be the most important sentence in any language. Look at the comment sections. Listen to the debates. Watch how people talk to each other online. We have forgotten how to do this. We have forgotten that you can disagree with someone and still see them as a full human being. But you, right now, by learning this phrase and choosing to use it, you are deciding to be different. Say it one more time.
Okay, time to slow down completely. Our word tour. 10 words, 2 example sentences for each, so the meaning really sticks inside your brain. You can listen, you can repeat, you can pause. No rush at all.
Word 1. Intolerance. Intolerance is when you refuse to accept that other people live or believe differently from you. Not just disagreement. You believe they should not exist the way they are. Example 1. Intolerance often begins quietly, with a small joke, a comment, a stereotype that nobody challenges. Example 2. When intolerance is allowed to spread unchecked, it eventually leads to real harm against real people. Repeat, intolerance.
Word 2. Oppression. Oppression is unfair and cruel treatment by people with power toward people who have less power. No voice, no rights, no safety. Constant fear as a way of life. Example 1. History is full of people who stood up against oppression and changed the world by refusing to be silent. Example 2. Oppression rarely starts with violence. It often starts when small injustices are treated as normal and acceptable. Repeat, oppression.
Word 3. Radicalize. To radicalize someone means to push them towards very extreme ideas or actions using fear, anger, and manipulation. Example 1. People who feel isolated, humiliated, or hopeless can be easier to radicalize, especially online. Example 2. Education, honest conversation, and a sense of belonging are the most powerful tools against radicalization. Repeat, radicalize.
Word 4. Reconciliation. Reconciliation is the slow, difficult, beautiful process of rebuilding trust and calm after conflict or deep hurt. It does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means choosing not to repeat the damage. Example 1. True reconciliation takes time because people need to feel genuinely heard and safe before they can begin to heal. Example 2. Sometimes reconciliation begins with just one small sentence. I am ready to listen. Repeat. Reconciliation.
Word 5. Ceasefire. A ceasefire is when all sides in a conflict agree, even temporarily, to stop fighting. Example 1. People around the world have been calling for an immediate ceasefire so that aid can reach those who need it. Example 2. A ceasefire is not peace, but it is the first breath, the first moment when ordinary people can stop running. Repeat, ceasefire.
Word 6. Civilian. A civilian is an ordinary person, not a soldier, not a fighter, someone simply trying to live their life. Example 1. International law exists to protect civilians, but in modern wars, they are often the ones who suffer the most. Example 2. Every number in a war report is a civilian, a person with a name, a family, a story that ended too soon. Repeat. Civilian.
Word 7. Solidarity. Solidarity means standing with people who are suffering, showing them you see them, you support them, you refuse to look away. Example 1. When people around the world gather to protest a war, they are showing solidarity with the victims. Example 2. Sometimes solidarity is just saying, I see what is happening to you, and it is not right. Repeat, solidarity.
Word 8. Humanitarian. Humanitarian means related to helping people in desperate need. Food, water, medicine, shelter. The most basic things a human being needs to survive. Example 1. During active conflicts, humanitarian workers put themselves in danger every day to reach people that nobody else will go to. Example 2. A humanitarian crisis is when large numbers of people cannot access the basic things they need to stay alive. Repeat, humanitarian.
Resilience. Resilience is the extraordinary human ability to go through something terrible and still stand up, still keep moving forward. Example 1. The resilience of ordinary people living through conflict is one of the most powerful and heartbreaking things a human being can witness. Example 2. Resilience does not mean you are broken. It means you are broken and you keep going anyway. Repeat, resilience.
Word 10. Negotiate. To negotiate means to have a serious conversation, to try to reach an agreement, especially when both sides have something to lose and something to gain. Example 1. Every conflict in history eventually ended when both sides sat down and agreed to negotiate. Example 2. To negotiate is not weakness. It takes more courage to talk than to keep fighting. Repeat, negotiate.
Those were your 10 words for today. Don't try to remember all of them right now. Choose one that felt important to you. Write one sentence in the comments using that word. We read every comment, every single one, no cap. Shadow with us. Hear the word, say the word, make it yours.
Before we go, I want to say something to you directly, not as a podcast host, just as a person talking to another person.
If you are listening to this and the world feels heavy right now, if you open the news every morning and feel that weight in your chest, if you feel angry or sad or helpless or all three at the same time, we see you. What you feel is real. The grief is real. The anger is real. And the hope you are still holding on to even when it is hard to hold, that is also real. And it matters more than you know.
And if you are learning English right now, in the middle of all of this noise, all of this pain, all of this uncertainty, and you still sat down today to listen, to practice, to grow, that is not a small thing. That is an act of hope. It means you are saying, quietly, privately, just to yourself, I am building something, even now.
You are not as powerless as the news makes you feel. Every time you speak about injustice in any language, but especially in English, someone on the other side of the world hears you. Every time you choose to see the human being inside the headline instead of just the label, the side, the enemy, that is resistance against everything that makes war possible. Every time you refuse to let your fear become hatred, that is peace right now in you in this moment.
Before you sleep tonight, ask yourself one honest question. Did my words today make the world a little softer or a little harder? And if the answer is harder, that is okay. That is honest. Tomorrow is a new chance. You can always start again. But if the answer is softer, if even one person today felt heard because of you, if even one moment you chose kindness over anger, that is not nothing. That is everything. That is how peace actually grows. One person, one moment, one choice at a time.
Repeat our final phrase out loud. Don't just think it, say it out loud to yourself. I may not be able to stop a war, but I can choose how I see the world and how I treat the people in it. Say it one more time if you need to. We mean every word of it.
If this episode meant something to you, share it with one person who needs to hear it today. Leave a comment with one word. How do you feel about the world right now? We're waiting for yours. New here, start with episode 1. We'll be right there with you. Every word, every step, every episode. Subscribe. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. New English, new ideas, new life.
Take care of yourself and take care of each other. This is Ben.
And this is Anna.
You have been listening to Speak English with Anna and Ben. See you in the next one.
Your English journey does not stop here.
Every episode you listen to is one step closer to advancing your English skills.
Click on the new video or explore the recommended videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.